connecting you. This is Iowa's News Now at 6.
We evacuated several different areas and houses around this due to obviously wind concerns, chemical concerns, and the fire.
A massive fire followed an explosion in Iowa County today, and it's our top story on Iowa's News Now at 6. One of two major fires we're following in eastern Iowa tonight. The biofuels facility fire there is in Marengo, still burning. It started almost 7 hours ago. The other on the right side of your screen in a mixed-use building in southwest Cedar Rapids, just west of I-380 off 33rd Avenue. We'll get to that in a little bit, but let's get back and see an aerial view of that Marengo fire. Big thanks to Jacob Hollister for helping us out with this drone view. Again, several people hurt there after that explosion around 11:20 this morning. You see just how massive that scene is. Iowa's News Now anchor Nick Weig live in Marengo right now. He's been at that scene for a few hours. Nick, they've backed you up from the scene. You've talked about just the smell and what that smoke is doing in the air. This is a biofuels facility after all. What are we learning about what that scene is like right now?
Well, it's just getting bigger and bigger as there are more and more crews here. We see support teams, but also the fire trucks going in and out as they go get more water. You can see they still have at least one ladder up right now as they continue to pour water and foam on this active fire. Right now, one official tells me this is largely a containment situation because of the scope of the flames and the fuel and chemicals still inside. Now, before dark earlier today, the smoke could be seen for miles away. Several people were hurt, but no fatalities at this hour. As for this fire, the work that this building housed at C60 is causing some problems. Fire crews are using both water and foam to try and put the flames out, but because this was a biofuels facility, the fire will likely burn all night long.
So obviously there are some chemicals in the building. That was our concern. We looked at hazmat, different type of chemicals that would be in that building that we knew about, and even prepare for some that we don't know about. And so that's why we have so many people here with fire. With that, also we are looking at air quality. We're looking at any consideration of runoff, because when you have that involved, you put that much water, it can run into the ground. So all those things are being monitored at this time.
So many crews are fighting this fire. In fact, tankers have been going in and out of a nearby lake, pumping up water that they can use to put on this fire. Now, as for everybody in the city that's been evacuated, they did set up a shelter on the north side of town to house them, but at last check, no one was there because they're simply staying with friends and family. Live in Marengo, Nick Weig, Iowa's News Now.
Nick, thank you. Now, UIHC officials say they have treated 10 to 15 victims from that scene so far. All of them still at the hospital at last check, at least one seriously hurt. Of course, the hospital's already dealing with all the patients amid the early flu season as well.
You know, healthcare facilities are all full with the respiratory season. You worry about a number of patients coming at once who potentially could be seriously injured. We actually were able to, because of training and preparation that we do regularly, we're able to mobilize teams to move patients out of the emergency room safely and make room for these patients.
And if you're trying to find out any information you can about loved ones who might be at the hospital following that explosion, you can call UIHC at the number on your screen, 319-356-1616. Second major fire today. That was in southwest Cedar Rapids, and just in the last hour, investigators have revealed it started after somebody left smoking materials of some kind unattended. That's a mixed-use building there just off 33rd Avenue on Southgate Court. Luckily, everybody got out safe. Nobody's hurt. There's retail space in there, office space, and apparently there's also a church moving in. This guy was in there hooking up video equipment for the church.
You know, I was just about to finish up and I smelled very light smell of smoke, you know, like just a piece of paper on fire. You know, and then told the guys and went out into the hallway, at which point I saw a lady running out, you know, saying, get out, get out.
Gilpin also says he never heard any fire alarms or smoke detectors go off. No word yet, though, if any of those were working in the building. A Grundy County man is now accused of killing his girlfriend last winter, just a few hours after he allegedly threw her daughter into a wall and was allegedly stabbed by her son. Kevin Halliday's in the Grundy County Jail tonight, charged with the murder of Christian Jays last December. Court record shows she died from blunt force trauma about a week after she was found unresponsive in a home in Rhinebeck. Halliday is accused of attacking her daughter as well as being allegedly stabbed by her son. He was treated and released then before that alleged attack. that killed Jays. Court records also show Halliday was charged with domestic abuse against her in May of 2021. He took an Alford plea in that case, admitting that there was evidence to get him convicted while not actually admitting that he abused her. He got 30 days in jail.
And a busy news day, also a busy weather day. We are tracking a winter system approaching eastern Iowa. For the time being, we're dry here on the weather patio, but we do have winter weather advisories now going into effect at the top of the hour, and they will continue until noon tomorrow. All that purple area in the northern half of Iowa, that is a winter weather advisory. In fact, they recently issued a winter storm warning for north central Iowa, where they do expect a little bit more snow to fall. That's over towards the Mason City area. Not raining here in Cedar Rapids yet, but in western Iowa, out towards Council Bluffs, you can see the rain and wind shear mix is already going. 300 feet above my head right now. Again, it's a quiet evening. 34 degrees, the current temperature. That's important. We are slightly above freezing for the time being, so as that precipitation moves on in, it'll start off as rain. Here's a look at the radar and satellite view. That rain now moving into central Iowa towards Des Moines Metro. For the time being, again, here in eastern Iowa, things are quiet. We do expect that precipitation to move in primarily after 7 p.m. A quick look at your commute. The biggest impacts throughout the night tonight, rain, especially along north of Highway 20. We'll talk about how much snow you might need to shovel and a little bit more on the weekend forecast in your full weather first outlook in a few minutes.
Thank you, Nick. Well, Iowa's going to try to make it 3 for 3 this week in the Cy-Hawk series. They're hosting Iowa State tonight in men's basketball. The women knocked off a top 10 Cyclone squad last night. The wrestlers won their duel with ISU on Sunday. Iowa's News Now sports anchor Jeff Beecham live in Iowa City tonight. Jet, there were some rumors last night about the possible availability or lack thereof of a Hawkeye start tonight. The update is in. It is not good news for Iowa out of the game.
Yeah, Mitch, off an exciting women's game last night. The Iowa and Iowa State men now take center stage here at Carver Hawkeye Arena. In just less than an hour, the Hawkeyes host the 20th ranked Cyclones in a matchup between a high-flying offense and a very, very stingy defense. Iowa comes in with the best offense in the Big Ten, while Iowa State ranks 10th nationally in scoring defense. Now, this game has largely gone with the home team's way, as the host has won 16 of the last 19 in this series. For both, it's a chance to not only grab bragging rights, but a signature win as well that goes a long way come March.
Super excited. It's our first road game this year, and I feel like it'd be a great test. We have, obviously in the Big 12, there's Texas Tech and Kansas who bring great energy every game to their home arenas. So it'll be a great test for them to like go over there and have that energy before we start our league play.
We got a bunch of guys who are happy to with this quick turnaround, and I mean that's what we want is these types of games. So playing New York, definitely a dream come true. Going to play Iowa State, our in-state rivals, so we're definitely big excited for that.
Now, Chris Murray, who you just heard talk there, is actually officially out for this game. Iowa just confirming that he suffered a lower body injury, likely in that game against Duke. He was spotted in a walking boot yesterday. He's in a walking boot again on the bench. Obviously, a huge loss for the Hawkeyes as they try to get back in the win column against Iowa State. Here at Carver Hawkeye Arena, Jet Beecham, Iowa's News Now Sports.
Tough loss to the Hawks. Thank you, Jet. We're in the final hours of our Toys for Tots drive with the Salvation Army. We'll get a live report there from Fleet Farm as we make those final collections. That's coming up after the break on Iowa's News Now. It's the final day of Iowa's News Now's Toys for Tots drive with the Salvation Army, and there is still time to drop those new unwrapped toys off at area drop boxes, including the one at Fleet Farm in northeast Cedar Rapids, where the first meteorologist, Kason Frericks, live there just off Edgewood Road. Had crews out there all day today. Kason, you've seen a lot of people dropping stuff off already. Kind of the final push here. How are things going as we get into the evening hours?
Yeah, that's exactly right, Mitch. Final push is on now. We've got about 15 to 20 minutes left of time that we're going to be out here. We've been out here all day. Plenty of folks rolling through here, dropping off toys that are needed. We've seen a little bit of everything: bigger toys, smaller toys, bikes, books, and even just some stocking stuffers, all going to children who need it here across the state of Iowa right now. And so now we are actually joined by Julie Kraft here. She is here with Hawkeye Downs, who have just been a big supporter of the Toys for Tots movements, of course. Julie here, obviously a very important time of the year with it being the holiday season. There's a lot of needy kids out there, and you can just talk a little bit about kind of just the importance of this sort of event and what it does for the children here.
Well, sure. First of all, Hawkeye Downs has been a partner with Toys for Tots since 2009. We think it's a great cause, and this year, of course, we have more need than we've seen ever before. In fact, we have 800 more kids registered this year needing toys, so it's a 20% increase from what we've seen in the past. So we're just out here hoping people will step up and help out the kids this year.
Certainly, yeah. And like Julie mentioned, yeah, there has been just a big increase in terms of need for families who are needing it. And if you could just kind of remind us how many folks or children are going to be kind of impacted in families this year?
Sure. So it's about 4,100 kids that are registered for Toys for Tots this year, and that's up about 800. We were at 3,300 approximately last year. So 20% increase. That's significant in 1 year.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And obviously, we're going to be wrapping up soon around here, but there is still time. If people want to donate, they've got a couple more days to donate to Toys for Tots.
That's right. You can take your toys out to Hawkeye Downs tomorrow from 10 to 6, or you can take them out Saturday from 10 to 2. The folks at Toys for Tots are out there sorting the toys and getting everything ready for distribution. So Hawkeye Downs, head on out there tomorrow.
Good. Sounds good. Sounds like the place to be. We're going to be wrapping up here in just a couple of minutes, of course, but you can still come on up. We're still taking donations until about 6:30 here. We're out here. If you even stop on by and just say hi to us here in the next couple of minutes. Otherwise, live in Cedar Rapids, Kason Frericks, Iowa's News Now.
And thank you, Kason. And thankfully, the weather is cooperating as well. The rain holding off for now, but it will be on the way. We are tracking that shower activity, a mix of rain and snow. How much snow parts of the area will see and what it means for tomorrow morning's commute. Coming up in your full the first forecast next.
Almost 7 full hours now since crews started fighting this fire at Heartland Crush facility in Marengo. An explosion has sent anywhere between 10 to 15 people to UIHC. We know at least one person has serious injuries. Thankfully, though, no fatalities. This is a biofuels facility, which, as you'd imagine, is going to make it really tough to get everything put out. You see crews still there. They're using water. They're using foam. It is, though, despite those efforts, expected to keep burning overnight. The Marine Corps Scholarship Foundation is getting a $65 million gift to get scholarships to military kids. It's the biggest gift they've ever gotten. Iowa's News Now correspondent Angela Brown brings us the details.
My name is Jake, and I grew up on a farm in Michigan.
Jake's hero is his dad, veteran Sergeant Timothy Lane, U.S. Marine Corps, who once protected a president.
He followed Bill Clinton wherever he went.
Service in Sergeant Lane's blood, becoming a Michigan State trooper after leaving the Marines until the accident.
After that accident, he kind of fell and hit his head. There were some dormant symptoms of PTSD that started to arise.
Sergeant Lane lost his job, devastating financially because his income, the sole income. At the same time, his mom battling breast cancer, putting Jake's college dreams in jeopardy.
You're also thinking about, how am I going to pay for this college thing, right? There's a huge price tag on it.
That's where the Marine Corps Scholarship Foundation entered Jake's life.
We're the largest provider of needs-based financial aid to the military.
We sat down with Ted Probert, president of the Marine Corps Scholarship Foundation, after being awarded its largest gift, $65 million from FedEx founder and Marine Corps veteran Fred Smith, to create thousands of scholarships.
It's actually had a tremendous impact because it's allowed them to experience the college education without having to secure a job or take on debt.
Students like Jake graduating from the University of Michigan in December debt-free.
We got connected with the MCSF and I received a scholarship. That was, a huge light in a pretty dark tunnel for my family.
More than ever, my dad is my hero.
Honoring his dad's service by supporting the Marine Corps Scholarship Foundation.
It makes my heart very happy knowing that there will be other stories like mine.
This major gift of $65 million will not only help the children of Marines, but the foundation will be providing scholarships for the children of Navy sailors studying STEM or health sciences. In Washington, D.C., I'm Angela Brown.
And we're now out here live on the weather patio in beautiful Cedar Rapids. We're dry for the time being, no precipitation falling, but it will be within the next couple of hours, primarily a cold rain here in Cedar Rapids. Let's send things down to Iowa City, live view over Iowa City tonight. Look at the current temperature there. It is 38 degrees, the dew point at 31. That dew point temperature very important because the temperature can only go as far low as the dew point. Therefore, that dew point right near freezing means Iowa City primarily will be an all-rain event as we go through the next couple of hours into early tomorrow morning. Here's a live view where the system is already impacting the area. Out in Council Bluffs in far western Iowa, the rain with some wind tree mix moving through here and there as well. And the rain now just also arriving in the Des Moines metro area. So it is on the way. When you look at the current radar and satellite view, that line of rain right now reaching central Iowa. And again, it will be pushing towards our southwestern counties as we go within the next hour or two. Most of the area dealing with precipitation between about 10 p.m. and midnight tonight. We officially have that winter weather advisory in effect for our northern counties along and north of Highway 20. That's where we anticipate more issues with accumulating snowfall. In fact, there's also a winter storm warning in far north central Iowa, including the city of Mason City, where they do expect possibly upwards of 6 to 8 inches of snow up that way. In terms of timing out the precipitation, Cedar Rapids mainly a cold, miserable rain throughout the evening and overnight tonight. By early tomorrow morning's commute, though, maybe kind of a mix of some precipitation. Dubuque also changing over into that wintry mix of freezing rain and snow as we head towards the overnight and early tomorrow morning. Iowa City should be all rain during this entire event. But Waterloo, wintry mix this evening as it begins to onset. We're going to have that wintry mix throughout the night tonight, and by early tomorrow morning for the morning commute, probably all snow. So definitely some issues on the roadways looking pretty likely up that way. We'll time things out with our predictor. 7 o'clock, it's knocking on the door. By 9 o'clock, most of the area starting to deal with some of that precipitation, especially the metro areas of Waterloo, Cedar Rapids, Iowa City. Notice that blue up towards Waterloo, kind of right in that line of mix of rain and snow. By 11 o'clock, notice snow is ongoing north of Highway 20. That will continue throughout the night tonight. You can see where that area of steady blue is along and north of Highway 20. That's where we anticipate the heavier snowfall amounts. Cedar Rapids, primarily all rain throughout the night tonight. We'll stop it at 7 a.m. early tomorrow morning. Notice, again, Cedar Rapids right on the line of wind tree mix, but primarily rain. But again, snow still ongoing up in Waterloo. The system out of here around noon tomorrow. Otherwise, a cloudy evening commute. No real impacts late tomorrow are expected. In terms of total snowfall accumulation, we've upped the northeast Iowa just a little bit, about 3 to 5 inches for Decorah, New Hampton, and Ullwine. Still thinking about 1 to 3 inches for Waterloo over towards Dubuque, including Independence and Manchester. But again, south of Highway 20, expecting more mixing issues. But again, it does not take a lot of snow to cause a lot of issues. In fact, 3 out of 4 crashes that occur on Iowa roadways when it snows happen with 2 inches of snow or less. So it does not take a lot of snow to cause a lot of issues. 70 forecast. We're dry this weekend aside from a few light showers on Saturday. Another storm system looming for Monday and Tuesday into Wednesday of next week.
Another major honor for Iowa's Jack Campbell today. This one the biggest so far. The Hawkeye senior named the Butkus Award winner. That is given to the best linebacker in all of college football. He's the first Hawkeye ever to win the award. And just think about all the great linebackers that have come through the program as well. Campbell has 118 tackles through 12 games this season. He's probably going to go over 300 for his career when Iowa takes on Kentucky in the Music City Bowl on New Year's Eve. Congratulations to the pride of Cedar Falls. Live look in Dubuque this Thursday night. Iowa's News Now back after this. One last check tonight out at Fleet Farm in Northeast Cedar Rapids. Still collecting toys for Tots. Kaysen's been out there for a few hours, enough to really enjoy that cold that we've got coming in around eastern Iowa, but I'm sure you're seeing a lot of great seasonal sights too. A lot of generosity out there today, Kaysen.
There certainly is, Mitch. Yeah, there's been a lot of people who have kind of rolled through here, dropping off toys of all sizes. Of course, things now beginning to wrap up a little bit. You can see just a few boxes laying out here, and a lot of them now packed away into the truck here that is going to be taken away and going to be distributed soon for children all across the state of Iowa here. Needy children this year, a big increase in the number of children who are going to need toys, of course, and even though we're wrapping up now, you still got actually 2 more days you can donate for Toys for Tots. Things at Hawkeye Downs, actually, where they're going to be distributing these, you'll be able to still donate toys there. That'll be tomorrow as well as Saturday, so they're still going to continue to take donations. Otherwise, here, though, things now wrapping up here in the next couple of minutes at 6:30. We're going to be making our way on out, but it's been a great day, lots of joyful and, of course, lots of holiday spirit out here in support of a lot of these kids who certainly need a toy here for this Christmas season. Live in Cedar Rapids, Kaysen Frericks, Iowa's News Now.
And thank you, Kason. Again, we are tracking that winter weather advisory now in effect for areas along and north of Highway 20. This is the area which will likely have the biggest impact of the morning commute tomorrow. Maybe some school delays or maybe cancellations. We'll keep an eye on it. Of course, you get the very latest tomorrow morning starting at 5 a.m. on Iowa's News Now. In terms of total snowfall accumulation, expecting about 3 to 5 inches for areas like Decorah to Oldwine, New Hampton, about 1 to 3 inches for Waterloo and Dubuque. Dubuque probably on the lower side of that 1 to 3. Waterloo probably on the higher side of that 1 to 3. Cedar Rapids, here just a nice, cold, miserable rain throughout much of the night and early tomorrow morning, Ben.
Nice to miserable. 2 words. That's Nick Stewart for you. Just telling it like it is. We'll keep following everything weather-wise as well as that scene in Marengo coming up at 9.